What's up? This is Rancer Ep.4 Rancer for short, and welcome to another episode of Injustice Got Among Us. In the last episode, I don't really remember what I did in the last episode since it's been about almost 2 months now since I did it. Actually, and I'm sorry that I have not done another episode recently. Yeah, I believe in the last episode we talked about either a balance patch or maybe something like that, but I really don't know. In this episode, a little bit from time that after the end of each match, I'm actually going to talk about the recent balance patch that was just showed off they just showed off today. Now keep in mind, it's not coming out today though. They announced that it was either coming out either October the 1st, actually no, October the 1st, is October the 1st a Tuesday? Yeah, it is. Like, they announced that the new patch actually would come out on October 1st, which is a Tuesday. Actually, and they announced that they were going to show off the full patch notes today. Actually, I've seen it. Unfortunately, I didn't write it down. I just looked it up. So, after the end of each match, I'm going to discuss my thoughts on the changes they made. Now, they did make a lot of general fixes I agreed with, but unfortunately, I'm not going to remember all of them today because I don't have a good memory. But I remembered a lot, but I remembered as much as I can. So, well, I think what I want to discuss in this episode, mostly, instead of just the general fixes, I'll mostly talk about the character changes. Mostly the characters I play as, and characters that are considered very huge top tier that a lot of people were hoping would get nerfed. And it turned out to be true. Too easy. Alright, so for the character changes, let's talk about the top tiers, the best ones in the game. And those ones considered by many as Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, Black Adam, and I believe, what is the other top tier character, I believe? Actually, no, the top 5 that are considered to be the best, mostly the top best, is Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, and Aquaman, and Black Adam. Those are the top 5 considered as the best characters in the game. So I want to talk about the changes they did. Now, for Aquaman, I'm kind of a bit disappointed though with the patch notes they give. They only showed us only one Now keep in mind though, this is, even though it says full patch notes, there could be more to this that they didn't announce yet. Yeah, but I don't know. This could be the full patch, but Aquaman, from what they explained in the notes, only showed off, they only showed one change, and that's his character trait has been nerfed again. It's like, has been nerfed again, where instead of actually cooling down for 9 seconds, they cooled it down to 12 seconds now. Now, which is not a bad nerf, but I think the 9 seconds was still decent though, but not bad though, not bad for a nerf, but I was disappointed with it. The next character is Superman. Now, there's a couple changes to him I actually do agree with when it comes to his buffs. The other ones I'm a bit confused with, like the damage scaling increase. I don't know what it means by that. Though I think it means that maybe that his combos won't do as much damage as they did before. Or so maybe, but I don't know. Now, like the first change I actually would disagree with is that his Flying Punch actually has 2 hits of armor. That's one change I totally disagree with. Because that means his Flying Punch cannot actually be defeated at all. I kind of disagree with that buff, but that, but whatever. The changes I actually have to agree with them is that the air and ground eye lasers are now. He now has to recovers. He now has to recover after on block. He has to recover from him. So what that actually means is that his eye lasers, both in the air and on the ground, can now actually he now has to recover from that, meaning that he has a lot of recovery time. And I think that's a good nerf. Actually, I kind of agree with that one. The next change they changed, and I think this is one of the biggest complaints many people got from Superman, besides his eye lasers, is that his super move actually has gotten nerfed down. Actually, now instead of 2 frames on startup, and now it's a 5 frames on startup, and now it's a mid attack. It's no longer an overhead. So I think that's a good nerf for that, but whatever. And his other change that I think I kind of agree, but I don't know, is that his heat vision, which is his straight projectile that goes straight. I think they said it increases the damage scaling on it, so I think it won't do as much damage as it did if you've used it in a combo. Those are the changes pretty much I can remember for Batman. The rest I mentioned is just damage scaling, the combos that I mentioned before. Some changes I do agree with Superman, but others, couple, I sort of don't really know. The next character I want to talk about, which is a really big major one I want to talk about, I want to talk about Batman. Now, Batman actually has 3 changes, and these 3, I totally agree with them on these changes. The first one is that his character trait, which is the mechanical bats actually, this time it has a much longer cool time, meaning that instead of actually taking only 6 seconds for each mecha batarang to actually recover, actually, now he can actually, let me see here, hold on a sec. I'm actually going to do this one with Nightwing. Actually, what I want to actually answer is that I actually agree with the Metarangs getting nerfed a bit, although I was expecting a better nerf for it, though. But it's definitely not a bad nerf. Now they take a much longer time to recover, and that because I honestly think the Batman's character is one of the most broken in the game because of its combo ability and that stuff. The second change is that his back 2-3 actually, he now takes a longer time to recover after that. There we go. Yeah. Now, as for the third change for Batman, the third change, I actually totally agree with them on this, and even Scorpion got the same nerf when it comes to Scorpion's spear move and Batman's grapple move. Batman's straight grapple can now be countered by projectile counter special moves, like for example, Raven's projectile absorber attack, where she can absorb projectiles and not only gain meter during it, she can also meter burn to the unblockable move. I think that's actually a very good nerf and a good opportunity for Raven. That way I can use Raven more. Is mainly because that since she could never do that, I think that's what they should have done with a straight grapple in the first place. Though that's still good, and because that it takes Batman a long time to recover. Actually, Raven can use her unblockable, and if she's close enough, when he throws it out at random, he can actually do a free combo after that. She can get a free combo after that. I think that's a good major positive for Raven. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Raven was never mentioned in the full patch at all, so I think maybe nobody didn't complain too much of the changes with her, but I don't know. And those are the 3 changes, and I actually agree with the changes they made for Batman, because I do think Batman does need to be nerfed, and I'm glad they did it for this patch. The third character that also got a change, but only one, just like Aquaman, that's Green Lantern. Basically, that after you do the is that if you actually remember, Green Lantern has this what people claim is an OTG reset. Well, basically after you do a meter burn Green Lantern's might, you can actually do a free like I said, what everybody's called a free OTG combo after that, because it only takes 2 frames or whatever to do that. But however, they actually nerfed it so that way you can no longer do that. Right? And honestly, that's a really good change, because I've used that a couple times. A lot of people have a hard time trying to block that. Man. And what else do I want to say here? Now the other character I do also want to mention that also got a nerf is, and the last character I want to talk about is Black Adam. And I've seen a lot of people make these comments in the Event Hub's comments saying stuff like, "Rest in peace, Black Adam." Nothing I can do, though. Wow, random back 3 as soon as I fucking jump. I'll get to the Black Adam changes later. Why can't I do... Why can't I do his, spinning, what is it, the staff spin, I think it's called? But why can't I get it to come out at all? I can't get it to work for some reason. Oh, whatever. As for the character, Black Adam, he got let me tell you, he's probably the most nerfed character ever out of the top 5. He got a ton of changes. And the majority of them I totally agree with. For one thing, I actually agree with their decision on nerfing down the dive kick more, which is his butt stomp. I totally agree with it. Instead of negative 15, like it was, they nerfed it down to negative 21. Well, so now you can easily punish him a lot easier now. So that's really a good change. And another nerf I actually saw is that they actually nerfed down his dashes. Actually, they nerfed it down so he doesn't dash as fast as he used to. Or actually, it could be a buff, but I probably didn't see it though. But who knows? And There's a lot of other nerfs I don't totally agree with, but I completely forgot what they are, so I'm sorry about that. But I will give you the full patch notes so that way I can see them after and then correct them. That stuff, but for the patches, I totally agree with their choices for Black Adam. So I totally agree with that. The other patch notes for some characters that I want to talk about is the ones of the characters that I like. And there's a couple I agree with. First off, let's talk about Solomon Grundy, actually. He does have one where pretty much, he has two that I actually agree with. For one thing, his pain grab, which is his character tree, can no longer be parried, and his rotten grave special moves, which is that gas that goes around Grundy's body that deals unblockable damage, can actually now, if you can believe it, it can actually now deal more damage than before. So now he can deal more damage with this move. Oh yeah, there is one change about Black Adam I forgot to mention. They actually nerfed down his character tray now. Well, they nerfed it down so it only lasts for 4.5 seconds, and now it takes it at least 9 seconds to actually recover, to cool down. Actually, and the second nerf to his trait is that it's now a mid-attack. It's no longer an unblockable attack. At least from what the notes explain, that's what it sounds like. Actually. Now, the other character, Zod, actually got a couple changes. It's mostly to his character trait, and I'm actually glad they fixed it. They actually fixed the glitch with Zod's character trait, where basically if it misses, it would keep grabbing and never grab him infinitely. And I thought it was really annoying. But since they fixed that, I'm actually glad they fixed it. And also, it can no longer be parried when you do the slashing, which is just pressing the A button. Ugh. Actually, the only nerf I would say that is a good thing is that his charge move, which is his half-screen charge attack, is only 6 frames now on start, but not 1. But I do think that's not bad for a change. The other change I actually agree with is actually that his forward 2-1 actually now has a bigger hitbox now. Because quite honestly though, I've learned some couple standing mix-ups for Zod, and unfortunately, his forward 2-1 is very hard to hit after a standing attack that lets him recover fast. It's very hard for do a mix-up after, but I actually do agree with their choices for it though. So, I am sorry that I didn't. Now, I do also want to point out that I've seen some of the other patch notes for the other characters that have already been shown earlier. Some of the ones with Ares I do agree with, like for example, they gave him a meter burn version of teleport now, which when the patch comes out, he's going to have a meter burn version of his teleport that allows him to recover faster. You can now use a different version of the teleport that allows you to teleport away, but it depends on which version of the teleport you use. It depends. And one of his combos, which I think it's 2-2, I believe, which is medium, has actually been improved now. I think either due to hitbox or damage-wise, I don't really remember. And then there's the ones with Shazam, Lex Luthor, Joker, and Bane. Some of Bane's buffs, I'll admit, they're not bad, but I was a bit disappointed though that they could have given him more. Joker's I actually think are better buffs for him because I actually start to like the character more. And by the way, for those who are wondering if I'll do more ranked matches for Joker, they will be coming. So I'm sorry about that. Some of Cyborg's and Lex's, they're not bad buffs or nerfs. They're not really bad, I just don't know what to say, to be honest. Though. And there's a couple of others, but I don't really play those characters. There is others like Deathstroke. He got some more nerfs than he did before. Actually, a lot more nerfs. Like for example, his character tree takes a much longer time to recover, and they don't last very long as they used to. And his gun's pretty much on. Now here's the change. I think I totally agree with this change, because that his character trait has been nerfed down. Actually, they also nerfed down that any combo or even any special move that allows him to use fire his guns, even if you activate the character trait to do unblockable damage, your bullet fire attacks will not deal as much damage if you activate the character trait. So the combo, which is basically this 1-3-2 combo into his unblockable setup, when you use that, won't deal as much damage as it did before. So, anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Injustice Among Us. I know I didn't edit the video like I've done before, actually. And I know there really wasn't that many matches like I've done in the previous episodes. But I think for the next episode, actually, I think what I'm going to do is that I'll upload one episode per month. That way I wait some Injustice news or anything like that. I was originally going to do this for PlayStation 4 and PS Vita news, but when I heard that the patch was going to be revealed, the full notes revealed today, I decided to actually wait. And that's all. I'm sorry, but the episode's all done, so I'll see you later.